we talking about today, MJ fangirl?
You guys, the Michael Jackson biopic teaser trailer just dropped earlier today. Well, technically like 12 hours ago, right?
It's something like that. Something
but
like that.
but we took the day to marinate on all of our thoughts and to look at the trailer a number of times before we came to you guys with our first initial thoughts. And we're super excited to get into this discussion. Randall, we've been talking about this for like, I feel like 2 years. We've been saying when that teaser drops, we're going to talk about it. And here it is.
Took long enough. Took long enough.
Now, I usually wake up 6:30ish, but I said I'm gonna wake up at 5:45. So I woke up. I had all these plans to do stuff before work. Foiled because as soon as I got up, I saw messages, and the first thing people were sending me was the trailer. The poster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they did drop that first. Yes.
So I want to talk to you about that first. This is the poster. Now, Randall's a creative, and I want to know your thoughts, but first I'm going to share my thoughts. I wasn't the biggest fan when I saw this. I was like, is this real? Is it a fan made one?
I've seen better. I've seen better. I've seen better. I think the thing that we should keep in mind, since this is a teaser trailer, we could also look at this as like a teaser poster. In the way of this might only be like a digital thing. Like, I don't know if this is going to be the poster that's going to be in the theater when people walk to go see, whatever comes out over the next few months, that they're going to see this poster with the 4 Michaels on it. At least that's my hope. If it is the actual poster, I'm not going to be too pleased. Maybe they can remix it at some point, but I think I was underwhelmed just as much as you were.
Yes. I think I didn't even think about the possibility of this being like a digital only thing. So I love that you brought that up, as it could very well be that. I feel like this was made to show us the different eras they're going to cover and where they're going to stop.
Yes. Yes.
And I do feel as though for other movie posters, you get like a scene, kind of like the fan made one that was going around with JAAFAR in the Dangerous era, the CTE shirt. I almost feel like that was more impactful than this, but let's see.
Let's see. And I think to, what you just said about, this potentially showing what eras are going to be in the movie. We're going to get into it a little bit, but they actually got a little bit of bad in the teaser trailer, so which is not on the poster. So I'm curious to see what, again, the final version of this poster is going to be, that is like all encompassing of whatever part of Michael's story they're going to show.
That's a really good point, and I wanted to bring up, just because I don't know, I want to catch everybody up to speed, that up to this point we know that this is the first movie. It's been pretty much confirmed, because I heard it today also on the Lionsgate earnings call for their shareholders, that they are releasing this with the option of releasing extra footage post bad era or whatever. They didn't really say what era they're going to stop in, but this is going to be just focusing on Michael's childhood up to, it says, the makings of a king. So I would assume like the bad era, like what they showed in the teaser. They're going to possibly release the rest of the footage after they see how this movie does,
but the way that it's even articulated is like, okay, so you just gonna release some Lucy's, like you just gonna release some extra scenes, like it's like this is Michael the deluxe album or the deluxe movie, like, and just got the extra scenes after post credits. Like, no, that's the way that that's articulated is funny to me, but okay.
And what are they going to name it? Like Michael Forever, or like Michael like
somebody said they should, the next album, or somebody said the next movie should be called Jackson. Shout out to Andy. Yeah. So I was like, all right, bro. Sure.
Hey, that's more creative than I could have come up with at this point.
I mean, yeah, it's not gonna sound right if it's like Michael Part 2 or Michael the sequel or whatever they're gonna call it,
Michael
because
the
Michael
sequel.
never, or Michael Book 2,
You know
like
what?
History Book 1.
If they use Michael forever, I'm gonna just say that that was me, all me. I'm gonna just take credit for that forever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, all right. I mean, who knows?
Okay, so let's get into the trailer. So, you guys, we can't watch the actual trailer because we don't want to get dinged. We don't want to be need. I don't even care about the monetization. I just don't want the video to be taken down. Or so, we're gonna go through, um, kind of like see screenshot by screenshot of like some things that really stood out to us. So, Randall, what do you think? Should we start that?
Let's do it. And by the way, like she just said, this is a teaser trailer. I don't know how many people are like cognizant of the difference between a teaser and an actual trailer. This does not have story in it. It's just a lot of different looks and, hits of different moments in the movie. So you shouldn't expect to really understand, the arc of it. Although, us fans, we already know the arc and the whole story, but um, don't get insufferable, MJ fans. I just want to clip this real quick and just say before we get started, this movie is not for us. This movie is for the general public. So if you are the type of person that would be like, oh, they didn't put January 27th, 1984 in here. This is supposed to happen. He didn't have the red shirt. He had a blue shirt. Get out the theater. Like, get up, get off of the computer, go touch some grass, because this is for the people that do not live in this community every day like we do.
Yes.
Please get a grip. That's my spiel. We off it. All right.
Yes, I would say mic drop, but we need the mics to continue this commentary. And I want to add to that later because that's such a good point, Randall, that you make. Um, let's go to one of the first slides here, which this is kind of, I guess, the big scene, right? In the trailer, teaser,
Mm-hmm.
whatever we're calling it,
Mm-hmm.
when he's
Mm-hmm.
in the booth with Quincy. Any thoughts?
Well, remember, for those of you who watch the trailer, the first lines I think are, I know you've been waiting for this for a long time. And to me, it's almost like a meta commentary of the estate, talking to us fans about this biopic, about, maybe even part of the delays or just the fact that a biopic exists in general. We know y'all been waiting for this for a long time. And here it is. Um, I thought this shot in particular I wanted to call out because from this specific angle, this looks almost dead on to Michael in this era, which looks like off the wall era. The bushy eyebrow, the nose. We're gonna talk about that, later.
Yes.
I think like, the hair, because even his crown afro was a specific kind of shape. It wasn't always round. So if
We
you
had the
split it,
mushroom.
you see it exactly. So I thought this was proof positive. Oh, okay, they're taking this serious. The whole visage of Michael and doing as much as they can to make his nephew JAAFAR look as identical to Michael as possible.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, and I would say that I even though when I first watched this, sorry, I forgot to do our very first reactions. I will insert mine here. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, this is not Michael, like first glance, right? But the
Mm-hmm,
more and more I watched it, the more I was like I bought into my mind started to believe this is Michael, this is the story. You know what
mm-hmm.
I mean? Like, I feel like in every biopic or every storytelling, retelling of somebody's life, like, you have that split second where you're like, "That's not them," and then the more they tell the story, the more you're like, "Okay, I can accept that this is them in my mind, let's continue." That's kinda what happened to me as the more I watched this teaser, and I love the fact that they're focusing on this off the wall era because I feel like it would be really easy for them to just put out something thriller era or whatever, but this is kind of giving us a sneak peek into the beginning, right? They're calling it the
Yeah,
makings of a king, and this is really before he was king.
that's right.
Shout out to
We call
Todd
out that
Gray.
book. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
um, okay, let's go to the next one. I know you mentioned this.
Oh yeah. So, I watched this maybe the second time I saw it. If you look close, you can see LA skyline. Yes, you can see that it's the Dodger Stadium. If you look close on the edges, you can also see the Jackson's World Tour 84 logos in the bottom left and right. So we know from the lore or history rather that Dodger Stadium was the last show unexpectedly on the Jackson's World Tour in 1984 because Michael announced that this was the last show. So
Unbeknownst to the brothers.
unbeknownst to the brothers. So, I think that gives a clue as to how much of the arc they're going to show, which of course this was a seminal moment, towards the end of that Thriller era, in 84. So we know that it's going to go at least up through that. And this is like maybe the one of the second, third shots in the trailer. And so we know that at this point.
Yeah, and I wanted to say too, to add on top of that, these are things, details that are for the fans, in my opinion. This is
Yes.
something that a fan would know and be like, "Oh, Dodger Stadium, what they're about to show us the last show." Like, so I appreciate that about this teaser so far because there's a lot of these.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
that
I just wanted to pull this up because I'm like, yes, we got bad in here. We got bad. The like screen accurate to the stage. I love it. I love it.
authentic, like buckles, the glove with the one thumb in, like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy because when I watched this a bunch of times today, I wasn't as excited now, but now that I'm looking at it and what we're talking about, I'm like, this is gonna be fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
Okay. Now I pulled this because of course we kind of knew this was gonna happen. And so I also am pulling this because they said they're gonna be about 35 songs in this movie. Across his catalog. So we already know from the first thing is going to be Want to Be Starting Something is in there because that started the trailer off. We saw the Bad outfit, so he going to perform Bad. Um, this one I pulled because I had to watch it a couple times because it's a blink and you miss it because you might think that this is like a Billie Jean performance from a tour or something, but if you look closer you can see the balcony. Where was he at in the balcony? At Motown 25, obviously. So I'm curious. Yes, we've seen the performance a million times, but I'm curious to know how they're going to dramatize it. And you can already get a sense of how they're going to dramatize it by how they're shooting his glove behind him like this, and give us, new context and a new eye to appreciate this again. Because as many times as we've seen it, we probably think it's old hat and don't appreciate it as much. But I think this biopic is going to breathe new life into this Motown 25 moment.
And shout out to the whoever's doing the costume and the set design. Like, this teaser to me was spot on. Like, a lot of times you see things and you're like, ooh, that looks kind of cheesy or kind of corny, especially when it comes to Michael Jackson, who has been like turned into almost like a caricature and
Mm-hmm.
not even like a real person. Like, here, I feel like we see so much, like, it's accurate from what we see so far. So, I mean, not talking about like what you said earlier. If they put him in a blue jacket instead of a green one, whatever. But I'm saying like the key elements are here.
Yes. Yep.
Um, so that's exciting. Um, Jackson 5. I I have to say, shout out to Giuliano Crew. I think that's his name. I feel like he's giving early 1968 Michael Jackson. Like,
Yes.
I can totally catch the vibes from this. I don't know about the other people in the scene because this brother sitting right next to him, I'm like, who is that supposed to be? I don't know.
I
But it
don't know
doesn't
either.
but it's like, it doesn't matter. It's not the Jackson's American Dream. This movie is like very Michael focused. So I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe the brothers characters will become bigger characters when he's older, when they're
Yeah.
in the Jackson's eras. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but this was a really good scene, and the teeth. Somebody did a side by
Yes.
side, and the teeth that they use are like identical to little Michael's teeth.
Yes. I noticed that too. I said, oh, this is a really good capture of Michael at this time, in many different details. So this was great.
Also, I have to say that I just something about like that 1970s, um, the 1970s look and the feel of like the black family at the table with all of those 1970s colors behind it. Like
Mhm.
it feels so real to me. Um,
Now I'm curious to know, since we have this in the teaser, how much of that home life are they going to show? Uh, to be able to set the context for everything that comes after.
right. I'm so curious because Nia Long and Coleman Domingo are key parts of
Yes.
this film that they've been talked about quite a lot.
Hmm.
So I don't know. We only saw a tiny little glimpse of them. So
I wonder if we gonna see Coleman Domingo in that S curl in the 80s.
oh, we need we need to see the S curl. Yes.
Put Joe Cola in there. I hope we get Joe Cola in here.
I was gonna say this is actually remarkable to me because I know it's not supposed to all be about how the actor looks. It's more about the portrayal at the end of the day. But this, something about his stature really resembles Michael. It looks like he's truly going to be embodying him. I mean,
this
look at
is what
this.
this is why I pulled this, because I think what you said earlier about, okay, this isn't Michael when you first watched it. Um, the body language is important when you're capturing, historical figures that we have all seen and been used to their movement, and the way that they move their body in space to music specifically. I have to imagine JAAFAR trained a lot, not just from his memories of his father, but watching video and like talking to the choreographers and stuff like that from what they've seen, being, having that experience of rehearsing with him and dancing with him on stage. So I was very impressed by, again, the quick shots of him, doing shuffles like what he's doing here, or spinning. I don't think we got a kick in the teaser trailer.
Not yet.
Okay.
I would imagine it's coming. We get a moonwalk? I think.
Yeah, we got a moonwalk. We got a
Okay.
moonwalk.
Okay. Dang, I wish we could show the whole thing. But if you haven't seen it, check the Lionsgate YouTube channel for
Hmm.
the full one. This really looks like, I mean, it not that it feels authentic, it feels real. Obviously, like this is a key moment in Michael Jackson's career, so of course they couldn't not show this. But I just
Hmm.
love how like the shots, and I'm gonna get into, we're gonna show a video later too, how the
Yes.
shot is like identical to like a shot that exists already. Like the
Yeah.
angle, the proportions of like Michael to like the camera, like
Hmm.
it's just wild.
Hmm. Now, what I'm curious of is, we know at this moment that Michael was wearing a hairpiece at this Grammy because of the Pepsi commercial.
Yes.
So are we gonna see the Pepsi commercial? Like, that perspective of not just shooting it, but what ended up happening with the pyro. Um, we'll see. I don't know that Pepsi has come out and been like officially involved in any capacity in terms of promoting or any like merch or anything like that. I haven't seen it. And if it's not, like, are they gonna mention the Pepsi name in there, or is it gonna be like something else?
They did
To be
this
able to
commercial.
tie, yeah, to be able to tie these moments, because these things happened in the same location, like filming
Right.
the Pepsi commercial and the Grammys of winning the 8 Grammys at the same
Mm,
place. So
that's such a good point. And by the way, I want to let you guys know, I didn't know that this was a hairpiece until this past year when Black Jackson Estate was doing their episode about hair. And I was like,
mhm,
what? I had no idea. And just to think of, how close all these events were, and Michael just had to keep pushing through. That's a lot of,
yes,
not only like was that a painful incident, but like the trauma of something like that happening and having to push through. Like you said, the dramatization is what I want to see. Like you said, like
mhm,
how are they gonna show Michael's emotions through moments like that?
exactly.
You guys, they went to the real spot. They went, this is a fact. They went to where this is in downtown LA or somewhere in LA. Um and they reshot Thriller. They remade it. And when I saw this, I was like, wow, like I wish we could show the movement. I think we are going to show a little clip later,
Yes, we are. Yes, we
but
are.
this was dope.
I hope they got an Ola Ray in here.
I so I think they will, but I feel like if you're gonna portray Ola Ray, then also work with Ola Ray on portraying that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's kind of like
Yeah.
that's the hard part about this movie, and that's another thing that I wanted to say. We don't know who's portraying Janet, so I assume that there's no Janet or Randy. I think that I'm assuming family members would have had to sign off on being portrayed in this, right?
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, especially the Jacksons, I have to imagine they hold some type of political power when it comes to, their portrayals in music and film and whatnot.
Right. But yeah, I mean, Ola Ray, Thriller is not Thriller to me without, the Ola Ray portrayal of Michael's girlfriend. So shout out to her. Shout out to everybody who watched that interview.
Interview. Hmm.
It wasn't bad, right?
You
It
did a
was,
great job. You did a
thank you.
wonderful job.
Thank
Yes.
you. I've tried. I've tried, you guys. Michael Jackson Estate, if you ever need an interviewer. All right, here I
That's
am.
your girl, MJ Fangirl TV.
Yep. But yeah, okay. So what did you think about this? Any thoughts on the Thriller scene or just
I wonder, so we see a few scenes of not just the Thriller performance, but also Beat It. And so I hope we get a glimpse into his creative process and like what he was going through at this moment, because we know the Thriller almost got thrown in the trash. Michael was like, "We filmed it. It's in the can. I don't know. I think they hating on me. I think I might have to go without it." And so I want to see that. That's what I want to see, to be able to eventually celebrate that triumph of, no pun intended, of holding on to this album. I mean, holding on to this single, and then releasing this short film to the world that we know and love.
yes. And on that note, I think it'd be interesting to see the business side of it because Thriller was like, it was like this big negotiation to
Mm-hmm.
even get the funds because Michael was going to pay for it. And I think somebody was like, don't pay for it yourself. We can get the money. And so they paid, like, I think it was like Showtime. They got money from Showtime and MTV or something to front the money in exchange for the making of Thriller, which we all
That's
know
right.
and love. I feel like this is interesting that they chose to show in the teaser.
Yeah, I thought that. First of all, shout out to Bill Bray. You know, once and always, Michael's longtime bodyguard, even from his childhood days. They got him in here. I think it's cool that it looks like they showing life on the road. These are accounts that we have heard from Jermaine in his book, um and from different interviews from the other brothers. So to see it realized in film, I hope they keep as close to those stories as possible, just to show the dynamic. And I wonder if they're going to do something like show how this looks like this is probably like Destiny or Triumph era. um if they're going to show that dynamic with the difference from what it was reported for Triumph, where they were all traveling separately.
I heard that. Like, that's a good point, though. I think it will be interesting to see because you're right. Like, if you think about it, in no movie, even in American Dream, we never really saw like the interactions and friendships or quarrels between the brothers. It was
Hmm.
really a lot focused on like the issues they had with Joseph or with the outside world and never like their in like what were their relationships like? Like was Jermaine the closest to Michael? Was Marlon the closest to Michael? Like
Hmm.
I would love to know more about that. So yeah, that's a good point. This scene really excited me. And again, guys, these are all like 1 second scenes, but this excited me because I've never seen a behind the scenes of the making of the way. I mean, Don't Stop Peeking enough. So, like, to
Hmm.
see a dramatization of the making of something I've never seen makes me feel like I'm getting something new.
I wonder if they had somebody from the shoot like come in as a consultant and be like, okay, this is how they shot it, or if they just made it up because that's probably how they probably shot a lot of stuff like this back in the 70s. But that's a good point that you call out. So we see a little bit of this later in the teaser trailer of them doing like the 3 spins like in the short film. So this is fascinating. I hope we get like a little 3-minute montage of them filming it and then how it turns out in the final product.
Yes, I would love that. Like I want it's so funny because this is one of the music videos that's like way overlooked. So like I'm glad that they're showing it love, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now this, you guys, one thing and one thing only, the accuracy of the handwriting. Look at that Billie Jean lyric sheet or whatever that's called, the card. That totally looks like Michael's handwriting, does it not?
Show does. Like I didn't even catch this as many times as I watched the trailer until you pointed it out. I said, "Oh yeah, that's really identical." Shout out to them. I wonder who it was that wrote that. That's what I want to know. They need to start writing other stuff.
Shout out to the art department. And
Yeah.
also, like, what are these other songs? Because I'm not too familiar with the tracks that were throwaway tracks, but Midas, Paradise.
Um,
Are,
dang,
are
this is
these
like
ones that we
deep.
know?
This is deep lore. I want to say like I can't. I'm give me like a couple minutes as we go through it, and then I'll answer it. But I've heard these titles before, but they're code names for other songs. I want to say,
Got it.
yeah.
Well, this is, again, these are things that, although the movie is not really for us, but these are things that are going to open up, you know, open up our minds to looking into things. Because as long as we've been fans, we've been doing videos here for a long time. I've been doing videos and blogging, and I didn't know about this, so this is cool that
Mhm.
this is being brought up. Okay, a couple more slides here. This business side.
Yeah, I hope we get to show. I hope they show Michael's business mind. There's a very good book about his mind, Michael Jackson Inc. From a few years ago that I read and I bought and read. I thought it was really illustrative of his business exploits, and I don't think this is like him talking about the Beatles catalog because that was like in '85, and that was after the Grammys, so it might be. But I think just based on his dress, I don't think this is talking about the Beatles. It might just be some other deal, in general, which I'm not sure what it was yet. But right before this, we saw John Branca, looking at Michael. So I have to imagine this is Michael making a call of some sort that is going to show, okay, that was a shrewd move of, the young man becoming the king.
And that's such an important side for people to see. People that look at Michael as just like this whimsical Peter Pan
Mm-hmm.
that things happen to based on timing. I've heard a lot of people say that kind of thing, but really there was a lot of intentionality behind Michael and the career moves that he made. And I think if the movie can show that side of Michael, that would definitely be um, a great thing for us as the fan community and for his legacy as a whole.
There you go. This looks like, quite frankly, him, showing the vitiligo, or covering the vitiligo with some makeup. I know this has been, widely debated over the years. I hope it's been widely confirmed in the subsequent years based on, things like his autopsy that came out that, like, yes, this man did in fact have vitiligo and he was doing his best to cover it up and work with it, while being at the height of his fame. I cannot imagine what that's like, going through something like that, that affects your visage when that is like the most important asset, one of the most important assets to your whole brand. They weren't saying brand back then, but this is a man who's very self-conscious of previously having acne and going through that as a teenager and being in the public eye. So
Right.
vitiligo is like double, triple down on that. So having that, showing that mental struggle in the movie, I hope they give that enough breathing room.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I think it's something important to address because, as we know, biopics are kind of like, for some people, they will be like the truth. So this is going to be a lot of people.
Don't
Think
get me
about it
started.
though. But in 20 years, somebody might watch this and be like, "Oh, I learned this about Michael Jackson. It was in his movie."
Well,
So,
yeah, this it's a cheat sheet. Like biopics are cheat sheets. Like people in the general public that might come across this video, that might come across this point in the video where we talk about that. Just know that you got to do more research when you watch this movie. Yeah, and don't think that MJ the musical is also real life. These things are dramatizations. So do your research. Don't take everything as gospel. Now, this excites me. When I first saw this, I thought, oh, you know how sometimes in biopics or something, they like to like pull moves from other moments in this person's career or something and then like merge it with something else just because it's
mhm.
directionally accurate. So I originally thought, oh, they just did this like, you know, him pulling his bomb out his pocket and throwing it from the bad era. Wrong. Immediately went to YouTube, pulled up the Toronto show, and I realized, of course, yeah, they did this in Victory. So you know what song they did this to?
Is it "Want to Be Starting Something"?
No. I
Wait,
give you one
Heartbreak
more
Hotel.
guess. Yes. So we getting Heartbreak Hotel in here. This is live. So yeah, I saw this and I realized what song it was. I say, yeah, I'm about to be jamming in there.
I wasn't even thinking about this, but we're just going to be having a great time based off of the music in
Mm-hmm.
IMAX or Dolby Digital or whatever the sound system they have in there. Like it's going to
We
be
about to be
really.
singing. Like, I gotta say this. I'm I'm not necessarily sorry, but I'm finna go see this with my brothers and sisters in the movie theater. I'm just saying, like, you know, Michael got his fan base all over the world, but we finna be in that joint singing. Like, if you was at the Beyonce film, The Renaissance, that's what we
Yes.
finna be doing in this biopic. We finna be singing and getting up and dancing.
It's so funny. I was I think I sent you this earlier or you posted it on Black Twitter. People were talking about like, what are you going to wear to the to the film? And I remember this was the same thing that happened for Black Panther.
Yes, Wakanda Forever. Yep. Word in white. Yep. I sure did. I sure
And
did.
this is a big point because a lot of people, to me, yes, this is a Michael Jackson film. It's exciting and all that, but to me, this is yet another achievement in Michael Jackson's career. Like, this is going to be $1 billion biopic. Um, a black artist from Gary, Indiana, the poorest of the,
Mhm.
the neighborhoods, from really humble beginnings, and now all these years later, 15 years later after his passing, is getting um the royal treatment. Really, like this, to me, it really says a lot to his impact on the world, and it's going to be even greater after this, so I'm excited for that.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. So y'all know I'm a bad head. So one thing I also want to talk about, we didn't really talk about this in a lot of the other shots of the live stage, but the stage design, the set design. You know, sometimes when we go see these movies like Rocket Man or Bohemian Rhapsody or even Jackson's An American Dream, they might pull, you know, some generic uh stage equipment that they might have because, you know, the main star of the show is the people on stage and, you know, the choreography and like the story that they're telling. But this right here and the last shot, these are accurate to the stage designs from the Victory Tour and the Bad Tour. This specifically from the second leg. I know this is too nerded out for some of y'all, but I'm just letting you know that I see what y'all doing in that production. Shout out to Lionsgate and the estate. And we got Jennifer Batten in the movie. Look in the back. Look in the back.
Oh, you know, they took it to the next level when it comes to like trying to get the actual visuals right.
Mm-hmm.
That This is a good sign because
And not only that, one more thing, I gotta point this out. I said earlier when we saw the shot of the bad outfit that he was gonna do bad. This is actually bad because if you watch it a million times like I do, this is the move that he does when he says, "Who's bad?"
wow.
Yes. So yes.
Wait, now question. Do you think, because Do you think this is going to end at like the bad tour? Because I feel like that's kind of the best place to end it, really. Like they could end
Probably.
it and say like Michael Jackson's Bad World Tour went on to become the highest selling world tour worldwide, da 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 da. And then it could say to be continued.
Yeah, because I mean they can't end it like, okay, now he's about to work on Decade, and then he started making new songs, and then it turned to Dangerous, and then that album. Like I don't see all of that in the teaser trailer. I don't, and also teaser trailer is only like 90 seconds. The movie's like 190 minutes or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a long movie. So there's a lot that's not in the trailer, that's not in the teaser. So it could be dangerous. I think even that dress that when we were talking about his body language, in the white top and in the pants, that's towards the end of the bad tour. So I think you might be right.
Remains to be seen. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think as well.
Hmm.
And if you're listening to this on Spotify, you should also be checking it out on YouTube. Spotify, you can also watch the video, but I'm going to put this on I'm going to put this on the podcast platforms, but definitely check out the video version, either on Spotify or on YouTube, because you can see the actual screenshots. Okay. So I think this is one that you pulled.
Yeah, from just the spinning. So I wanted to talk about, like, the makeup that they're doing as they transition Michael throughout the eras. I think for all intents and purposes, this is screen accurate, directionally accurate. Especially for performing in it. So
Yes.
I'm impressed with how much they did to make JAAFAR look like his uncle.
Can I make one comment
Yo,
about that?
this your channel. Do your thing.
So there was one scene in the which is the only scene where you hear Jafar speak and whatever. That scene to me, I was just like, something was off about the proportions of the face on that. Like the nose, like I know, okay, so Michael is an artist that physically changed from era to era, which is like amazing. He's one of one, right? It's hard to replicate exactly what he would look like. But for some reason, like I feel like the nose that they gave Jafar was too big, the prosthetic. Like it had the shape, right? But it was like not the
Yeah,
right
it
proportion.
was it was it was a little, but I think mechanically, if I were to think back, I think they might have been working backwards from um an era like this, and then that from trying to show that journey from off the wall to now. So it's easier to add, it's harder to take away, if you
True.
understand what I'm saying. So I think they're probably working backwards mechanically.
And another thing is we don't know what the storyline is going to be. They're going to have to show like him getting cosmetic surgery and stuff like at some point. Why would he look different from era to era?
Mm,
Maybe maybe it's a little bit like larger to show, okay, this is a surgery. Oh, you look different. Oh, I just got my nose done. You know what I mean? Like very casual
mhm.
in passing. Maybe,
I
and that
wonder if
might
they're
even
gonna show him like falling and breaking his face, breaking his.
that
See.
there's a lot that they could do with that. So I'm like trying not to pass too much judgment on it. But when I first saw it, I was like, is that supposed to be Michael? Just because, like, I mean,
That
obviously,
ain't no Michael Jackson.
no, seriously, that's what I was like. Okay, fangirl, get yourself together. Watch this again.
Hmm.
Don't be so critical because it looks like Jafar is going to be doing a great job, especially with the voice, which we'll talk
Oh
about
yeah.
too. Um,
Yeah, and so like we still getting some Jackson 5 era. So, when we talk about the balance of how they're gonna show all these different eras, I'm glad that they're like, this is at the end towards like the montage when he's spinning. And you can see, and I'm glad that they're showing this James Brown in the back on the TV.
I'm
Yes.
just now noticing that. I'm just now
Uh-huh.
noticing that.
right. So, people can see, where he got his moves from, which he acknowledges, all his life, So to see that, and also Easter egg, I'm pretty sure he wore this back then. So I might be one of these people that is like, oh, he ain't got the blue shirt. He had this other shirt. What color shirt is he wearing in this?
Red,
What color shirt does he wear a lot as an adult?
red.
Yeah, like small little Easter egg.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's a good point. Um, okay, this is gonna be our. I think it's our one of our last
Yes,
screenshots,
I think it is. Yeah. So
and
this
this.
is from Wembley.
How do you know?
You can tell by the architecture of the stadium. Um, that's number one. Number two, you can also assume that I would, because they released that DVD from the Bad 25 era when he performed it in Wembley.
Mm,
Number three, this is from Graham King, who produced Bohemian Rhapsody, and they had Live Aid. And where was Live Aid?
in
Wembley.
the yeah Wembley. Okay, so this is a side by side of how like real life and the biopic are shown. Like it's really amazing, and you could
Yeah.
see that everything's on point. Let's watch
Yep.
that one more time. Let me watch that one more time.
And even in this, you can see when they compared the Heartbreak Hotel move to the one from the Bad Tour, because that's where I thought it came from. But yeah.
Mm. All right, so comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Because if we think it's pretty accurate, I think you guys will too. And then I wanted to also mention that after later on in the day, like Variety, Entertainment Tonight, a bunch of news outlets had other photos from the biopic which were not in the teaser. Wanted to let you guys know that they are going to be using CGI for a lot of this, and you can see here this is part of the CGI look.
Where can they find more news about that CGI? Like, where did you read that?
So that is a little bit of inside information that I cannot reveal my source
Okay.
on,
Okay. Okay.
but I'm pretty sure that that'll come out later, like in the actual news. But someone that I know that was working on the movie mentioned that they're going to help use CGI on Jafar to move, to move him through the eras to kind of keep the likeness similar to
Okay.
Michael's. So I think it's cool. I mean, to me, this looks really good.
No, I think one thing that I wanted to call out specifically, not just, we talked about his body language earlier. I want to talk about his eyes. I think Jafar's eyes, he just has kind eyes, which I think lend themselves well to, portraying Michael and seeing, you know, the eyes of this man who saw so much and was still kind, and see, him matriculate through the years, and what the impact of the world did to his eyes, so
Mm,
I'm I'm pleasantly surprised to see, like, even that quality, like that twinkle in his eye, still be present in shots like this.
wow. I never thought about that, but you're right. And those are going to be the things that count, I think, in the long run when we look at Jafar's performance as a whole, because we talked about this a little bit earlier off camera, but these are not acting scenes,
Hmm.
right? So we have yet to see how he's going to portray Michael emotionally. We only got the one scene where he was speaking. So I'm excited to see that, like to
Hmm.
really feel like, okay, is this Michael? Am I going to feel that even as a longtime fan, which I feel like I will?
I think if I were to speculate, I think we might get a trailer, a real trailer, in the new year. So
That's fair.
yeah, because we got this teaser to last us through the holidays, and then about 3 months before the movie comes out, so probably mid or end of January. I can't think of any important MJ dates up to that, because I don't think this was released on an important is 3 months before, where we can start to see some of the story.
I can't wait for that. I'm actually surprised that we even got this far into like I can't even believe that we're here. We've been talking about this for so long, having a trailer and doing like a reaction to it. I feel like for 2 years.
I mean, I thought that this was going to come out, in front of Wicked is the story that I read, and so the fact that it came out like a week before, I'm glad. I'm
Hey,
glad because I wasn't gonna go see it. Like I probably gonna pop in, steal somebody's seat for 5 minutes and then bounce. So I'm
wait,
glad it came out.
you're not a Wicked fan?
No, 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 no. I'd rather
I'm
go
a
watch The Wiz a million times.
I'm a big Wizard of Oz fan, so I'm a big Wicked like fan. So I'm gonna go see it, but I definitely wasn't gonna see it the first 2 or 3 weeks. I was gonna wait a while, so I'm glad that this is out online.
There you go.
Shout out to Lionsgate.
Thank you, Lionsgate.
Thank you. Yeah. So let us know in the comments down below. Sorry, I'm not as hype as I usually am. It's really late, you guys. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. So I'm trying to you know, I'm excited, but I'm trying to keep my voice down, if you know what I mean. Let me know down below what you guys think. Like, what did you guys think about the teaser? What was your first reaction? What was your reaction after watching it multiple times? Because I know if you're watching this video, you already seen the teaser multiple times.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, any last thoughts, Randall, um, on it?
I think the maybe the momentum probably was waning about the excitement of this biopic, especially in light of a lot of like the recent news, if you follow that, about what the movie might turn out to be or what's in it and all that. So I'm glad that the trailer came out to kind of stem that tide and get the fans excited, and not just the fans, because like I said, this movie is not only for us but the general public. Y'all fans, look, come here, come here, come here. You gonna zoom in, get close to the computer. I need y'all to go ask your mama, ask your daddy, ask your cousins, ask your siblings, like go check out Reddit. Just look and see how people are reacting to this. By and large, I've seen mostly positive comments and I've seen people say they about to go get this fit off. What are you wearing? Like it's about to be an event. Um, so stay positive, keep the excitement. I think we in for a ride. I'm looking forward to seeing more from the biopic.
Me too. And I have to also say, as someone that has been very much like, I was excited, then I wasn't. I
Mm-hmm.
will say this. This is actually something that now I can feel like I'm excited to see and learn more about, especially seeing that the care to detail that they took. Um, and also the fact of just like this is going to bring Michael's legacy to the next generation. And that's like a big part of why I champion a lot of the estate projects that are for the general public, like the musical and like the
Good
NJ1 is
strategy.
yeah, because this is now a gateway to Michael, especially for people that don't know the human side of him. They're gonna now feel that emotional connection to him that we might have already had because we've been listening to his music for years. And I feel like that's powerful. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to hear more of the music that they're going to feature. Um, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. So, Randall, we made it. We made it to the point where we have a teaser. We did it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, yes. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Check out our friend Trish. I love the Jackson family, Invincible Jacksons. They did a 4-hour live this morning on their channel from 5 as soon as I woke up from 6 a.m. they were already live. So, I listened to that like half of my day and they gave it was great. There was like 40 fans in the chat sharing their opinions. So I love stuff like
Okay.
that.
Share y'all's opinions too. What do you think is going to be in the biopic? What do you want to be in the biopic based on what you saw in the teaser trailer?
Yes, and if there were more Easter eggs that we didn't pick out that you noticed, drop them down below because we love to hear that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Randall, thank you for joining me on such random notice because this came out
Absolutely.
on such a random day.
Yo, happy to join. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for MJ Fangirl TV.
Yes. Randall says that he's going to push the bell when we hit 50K. We're
I
still
did say that. I'm
we're
putting that on record. I did say that.
we're still a ways away. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because this is how you're going to get all the updated Michael Jackson biopic news, but also just news about Michael Jackson in general. Deep dives. I do a lot of deep dives with Randall, interviews. We have a really cool video coming up later in December with Randall and some other guests. So I think you guys are going to be enjoying that content. So make sure that you follow, like he said here, or on Apple Music, Spotify.
Mhm.
You can listen on your commutes. So we will see you guys next time. And thank you for watching. Oh, wait. Randall, where can they follow you? My bad.
Oh, follow me on Instagram, the Rock Files. Also, if you want to see my Lego stuff, look me up at rocsmocs, ROCSMOCS. Yeah, keep the conversation going.
And also, this is the perfect time of year to catch Randall on the holiday Lego Bricktacular. It's streaming on Hulu. I think it's at the end of season 3, right?
I think that is correct. Yes.
It's the perfect
Wow,
time of
you're
year.
so precious. I appreciate you. I forgot all about that.
Randall is, yes, this is the Randall from Lego Masters. Every now and then I get a DM like, hey, is the Randall on your channel from Lego Masters? Yes,
That's
this is him.
fun. Yep, crossover episode.
Crossover
Yeah.
episode. We could do like we could do that at some point. Lego builds, Michael Jackson related. I'm sure you have some. Case in point, right behind him already. See?
There you go. Working on some more.
Yes, can't wait. All right, you know what'd be cool? They should call Estate. Call Randall to do like a commission of a Lego thing for.
I should shoot my shot.
You should.
Yeah,
Like, why
let me
not?
send a random email just to them and be like, "Hey, man, y'all want to get people involved in the biopic? Let's do XYZ."
That would be so dope.
Yeah, let me do that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll stay tuned for that. And all right, this is the longest goodbye ever. Bye, guys. Bye.